Good morning. This is Sunday morning, 7 a.m., and I'm here at the City of Light at our stream, and I was hoping that you would hear the stream. And I thought if I come early, there wouldn't be so many cars, but you will hear the cars that are going by as well, because this part of the 45 acres is below and closer to the road. Okay. And this wonderful stream, and so let us concentrate on that, and we shall say a prayer. O Lord, may your hand lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May all be happy. May all be peaceful. May all be enlightened and cultured. May all attain perfection. May peace be established in the three bodies of man. May peace be established in the three worlds. May peace be established everywhere. May truth be our religion. May service be our worship. May knowledge be our breath. May world be our family. May yoga and meditation be our way. May our eyes see happy and noble things. May our ears hear happy and truthful words. May our tongues be sweet and truthful. May our bodies be divine instruments. May noble thoughts come to us from all corners of the universe. May we never leave God. May God never leave us. Om, peace and love. Om, peace and health. Om, peace and enlightenment. I thought I'd talk to you today about listening. Listening is an art. You see, anytime we hear something, or somebody is talking to us, immediately our mind goes and tries to compare it to something that we have heard before. And the next thing we do is a response to what is being said to us. So listening is really not very easy, even though we think it's an easy process. It's not. Because we're listening to respond, so we're really not listening. We're listening to compare, so we're really not listening. And no, for anyone to feel that they are being understood, they will say to you, I just want somebody to listen. And that doesn't mean you need to agree, but somebody to listen, somebody to understand how you feel. This is the most important part. And we can only do that by listening. Listening is almost a mindful practice in which we are truly listening to the person and trying to understand what they are saying, not for us to be comparing to our past experiences of trying to relate to what they're saying. Do you understand how deep this is? How difficult this is? Because we usually immediately look for a response. Listening does not require a response. Listening requires an understanding. a meditation on what is being told to us. It's a very interesting process for you to start looking when someone is talking to you. Become aware of what your mind is doing, and you will find that what I am saying is correct. What the mind is doing is trying to figure out how to respond. And we can only respond according to our understanding. And we respond faster immediately. The mind goes immediately into a response mode, and we reply faster and according to us, before we have truly listened to the other person. This is very interesting. And I like you to take the time out on a couple of times this week and start watching what your mind is doing when you are listening. The most respectful thing we can do to acknowledge another human is to listen to what they have to say. This is deep respect. This is deep honor. Listening is more important than talking. Sometimes people don't want your input. They just want to express their feelings. And they just want to know that you know how they feel or what they are thinking. It sometimes does not need a response. But we immediately go into response. That's not the way to listen. Listen, when we are not listened to, we feel nobody really knows us. Nobody knows how we feel. And this is quite true. Nobody knows how we feel because people do not listen. And then we get angry, and then we get screaming, "You don't understand me, blah, 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 blah." Yes, this is quite true. We don't. Because we don't listen. We have our own agenda when we are listening. So, we don't really notice that we're doing this. This is why I'm bringing up the subject. It's a very important subject. Because when we have people that are talking to us, there is a reason that they are talking to us. And we must find out what the reason is and listen attentively. So what does that mean? That means shutting down everything that is associating with me and listening to truly what they are saying. This requires mindfulness, for sure. Because mindfulness means being in the moment and not comparing it to the past or creating a future. And we do that all the time when we are speaking to people. And so, if a person comes to you to tell you something, we need to listen and not respond. This is the highest honor that you can give to another human. And if we understood that, we would take our time out to listen. Listen to this beautiful brook behind me. Do you hear that beautiful water? We listen to it and our mind is full of joy. We listen to the birds. There are no birds in this part of the property. At this time, and then if we really listen, they become joy. If we really listen to another person, we begin to understand who they are. Liking or not liking is not what I'm asking, but just to understand who they are. And many times you would hear someone say, "I just want to be heard. I just want to be heard." What does that mean? I just want to be heard. I want to be understood. I want you to know how I feel. I want you to know what I'm saying and what is important to me. That's what that sentence means. I want to be heard. Because 90% of the time, we are not listening. We are listening to respond. We are listening to compare. And for example, you'll go to a lecture and you will listen to it for an hour. And if you didn't take notes, you just listen. And a half an hour later, somebody goes to you, oh, you went to a lecture. What did they talk about? And you go, because we didn't really listen. We listened to respond. If we deeply listened, then we would remember what was heard. Do you see the difference? It is so important. I always go, how do I not remember? I just sat there for 1 hour. Your mind goes blank because we didn't really listen. We compared it to what we already know. And listening is not comparing to what we already know. Listening is understanding what the person is saying. Not to tickle our mind, not to tickle our ear and make us happy for that moment, but to go deep inside of us to understand. Because when we listen, we listen to be entertained. We go to a lecture and listen to be entertained and listen to be inspired. And for that moment, it does so because we're comparing it to the past. But it's only for that moment. Truly listening is understanding and integrating. Do you understand the word? Integrating what is being taught to us, what is being told to us. When we integrate what is being told to us, then we begin to understand what is being told to us. Prior to that, it is just reaffirming our beliefs about ourselves, about that person, or about anything. That's not what listening is. Listening should be for us to learn something new, not to reinforce what we already know. It's an art. It's a true art. And to respect another human, the most important thing is to listen properly. And what we mean by that is to understand what they are saying and integrating it within ourselves to truly understand. This is what is called love. And it might totally disagree with what you have in your mind. It might you might feel anger coming up, but no, this has to be subdued and really listen, because you have to understand, before anger comes up, you must understand where that person is coming from. Before any reaction comes up, you have to be in the moment, in the mindfulness, and understand truly. Because the words might have given you the impression that you need to be angry, but the thought form, the entire process of the talk, the entire, what shall I say, the entire content of the talk might not make you angry, but certain words might make you angry. It might be expressed in a strange manner that might make you react, not necessarily angry, but react. And you agree or disagree. No, wait till you have heard the entire content before you make a reaction, positive or negative, before you give your opinion. And before you give your opinion back to the person that needed to be heard, and we all need to be heard, see if that is really, if you are saying something that will help that individual. To be heard is the most important process of our of our relationship with others. We need to be heard and we need to hear. And it is something that we don't do. And I like you to start becoming aware. The next time somebody says something to you in seriousness, start to listen and find out where they're coming from. What is their motive? What are they trying to impart to you? Do you need to react to it, or do they just need to be heard? Because many times we just need to be heard. We don't need a reaction. We don't need someone talking back. Sometimes you try to tell something to somebody and they immediately answer, and you go, wait a minute, I didn't get any thought through to you because you're already reacting to the first two words that I have said before you know my whole sentence or my whole spiel. And then you walk away frustrated and they walk away frustrated because neither one of us has communicated. No, it is not that difficult for us to listen properly and stop responding immediately. Yes, you have things in your mind and you will get your time to speak, but to be listened, the most important thing. For years, I remember, I felt no one was listening, and there was a reason for it. Yes, you feel incomplete because our being human means interacting with loving energy or any kind of energy with another being. This is very important. That's why we love to talk to our animals, because we know they're listening, they're not reacting. But our need for communication is very, very strong. And with this I will end. I thought if I came out here on Sunday morning, there wouldn't be very little traffic, but that is not the truth. Out here in a upstate on Sunday morning with all that traffic, I'm sorry about that. I was hoping that you would listen to the beautiful brook behind me. So with that, I will close. And know that listening is an art. And it is the highest respect that you can give to another human. To listen to them 100% without reacting, without commenting, and then deciding what you should say once you understand where they're coming from. So with this, I will bless you. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om. Om.